Well, Mr. Vice President, I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you very much. Good to see you too. I want to start off with where we are. Talk about why now is the right time to make a trip here, make a trip back to your hometown.
Yeah, so one, obviously just very personally meaningful. We actually stopped at my favorite donut shop, a place I went to all the time, going back to when I was a little baby. So very meaningful personally for me to be here. But we're actually making a big announcement that there's a massive new investment coming in to the steel mill here in southwestern Ohio. And obviously we believe this investment, and if you ask the corporate leadership or the workers on the ground, they'll tell you it's because of the Trump administration's policies to try to protect American industry and manufacturing. I'm a big believer that, frankly, both parties screwed up in a big way by the state of Ohio. For 40 years, we allowed our industry, our jobs, our manufacturing foundation to get shipped to foreign countries, but that left a lot of American workers behind. It also made us less reliant, less self-reliant as a nation. So we're seeing new investment come into our country, new jobs, the reinvigoration of the steel industry here in southwestern Ohio. So very proud of it, but something that's very connected to the policies that we've been pushing in Washington.
I want to ask you about some of those policies. The economy on everybody's mind with the midterms, 70-something days away. AAA has the average price of gas in Ohio about $1 higher now than it was a year ago. What are you saying to Ohioans, or what would you say to Ohioans that are seeing those high prices?
Well, I'd say first, I understand that's a problem. That's something that we're working on a great deal. I mean, really the source of this is that one, obviously, our view in Iran was this is a terrorist regime that cannot have a nuclear weapon. Now, in some ways, they've reinforced how much they're a terrorist regime, because you have to remember, these are not American naval ships that they're shooting at. They're shooting at a lot of commercial vessels. Now, the good news is gas prices got much higher than they are today. The Iranians tried very hard to make that happen, but we're pursuing a whole host of economic measures to ensure that, yes, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, but we also try to get that price of the pump down. So it's something we're working very hard on. It's something the Iranians have explicitly made part of their strategy in this particular conflict. So we're working on it very hard to try to get that relief.
The president talking about economic pressure, new economic pressure on Iran. 6 months into this war, I know a question many people have on their minds: are we winning this war with this new phase of these economic pressure going in place?
Yeah, and I would say, honestly, it's not a 6-month thing, it's a 47-year thing. We've been going back and forth with this particular country for a very long time. What we have done definitively is destroyed their nuclear facilities, but also destroyed their conventional military. And what we're on now is a phase where we're trying to ensure that they can't rebuild that infrastructure to ultimately get a nuclear weapon. That's why the economic pressure matters so much. It's actually not that hard to build a nuclear weapon scientifically. It is quite expensive, and so we're trying to break their will, but also deny them the resources necessary to rebuild that program.
You've got a crowd out there. What message are you hoping resonates most with them as these midterm elections get closer?
You know, I just think that we had a bipartisan failure in this country, where instead of building in America, instead of relying on American workers, we shipped American jobs and industry overseas. This is a fundamentally different administration that's taking a new approach. That's why we see the investment coming into this facility. But you've seen trillions and trillions of new investment come into the United States over the past 18 months. Now that takes some time, right? You got to build the factories, and then of course people have to get hired at those factories. But we're just doing something totally new with the Trump economy. We're rebuilding America. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's the thing that I'm most proud of. And I think for a lot of these manufacturing workers, that's the thing I expect to resonate.
I know a lot of people are always asking about your political future with the midterms coming up. When are you planning to make a decision on whether to make a run for president?
You know, I really we got to get through the midterms, and I'm kind of a procrastinator by nature, so I don't really think about things until I really need to. What we have to do right now is win the midterms, keep the momentum going, build on, I think, a lot of great wins for the American people. No taxes on tip, trillions of dollars in new manufacturing investment coming into our country. There's a lot of good going on. So I want to go out and tell that story. Hopefully the voters reward us with getting some good candidates back into, or at least for the first time, into their seats in Congress and the United States Senate. That's what we're going to be focused on. I'm also focused on, as we talked about a little off camera, we've got a 4-week-old baby at home. He only woke up one time last night, which is big for me and particularly his mom. So we're just going to try to get the things done that we need to get done. And I'm sure after the elections in November, the political conversation about 28 will turn up in a big way.
I appreciate it, Mr. Vice President.
Good to see you.
Thank you.